Welcome back, everyone, to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour on Sagan and 60. I think that was a really interesting conversation about the real estate market and trends and how to be successful in the current market. So I wanted to check in with another agent, and we're now joined by Carla Corsi, who is with Remax Enterprises in South Mississauga. Carla, welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you. It's a pleasure being here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Now, you've got an interesting background because what I understand is that you're a mom and you've raised two kids. You've had a successful career in business and in the provincial government, where you worked for 22 years. 22 years. And then you gave it up to get your real estate license and get involved in real estate. That's quite the transition.
I actually did it both together parallel for about 7 years. And then just recently I decided to take the plunge and follow my dreams and just focus on that 100%. So it's been no regrets and never looked back. It's been amazing. Excellent.
And you've also, from what I understand, bought and fixed up some homes on your own.
I did. Yes, that's correct. In North, recreation properties, I Airbnb them. The uglier, the better. And I make them beautiful and I Airbnb them. So that's another passion of mine.
Is that a good business? Is that a challenging business? Tell us a little bit about that.
It can be very lucrative for sure. You have to be very selective in the areas that you want to focus on. Some areas like Wasaga Beach are a lot more popular with families. I've done very well there because you've got, Scandinavian, you've got the spa, you've got the Collingwood, you've got the ski hills, you've got the beach. So it's very well-rounded. So seasonally, you'll do very well compared to maybe other more secluded areas that are beautiful nonetheless, but there really isn't much to do. So you have to be very, picky and choosy as to where you're going to be investing for recreation property.
You have to be picky and choosy in who you rent to?
Well, Airbnb does that all for you. So that's the beauty of it. They screen them all out for you. I have it set up that I would like to know who it is that's going to be in the property. So, they write me a little short, hi, I'm a family of 4. We're looking to get away, whatever the case may be. And as a host, you have the option of denying them or accepting them based on that. So I kind of do a lot of pre-screening. I don't just do automatic bookings so that I have that control as to who stays there.
Yeah. And do you have to go up? Do you have cleaners that do most of the work? How do you do all the maintenance?
Yeah. So I do have a cleaner that I'm very loyal to. She's been amazing. And that's super important to being a super host and, having those good reviews and people coming back. You do have to go up. So again, it has to be a property that you can get to. It can't be like 3-4 hours away, because if you have to go and restock toilet paper, or if there's something that you have to do up there, you want that to be accessible to you. So it's, not a whole day driving up. So there is a lot of maintenance and engagement involved. I know other clients that I've assisted in purchasing these properties, they've enlisted the services of a property manager because, they're really busy with their own careers and they're just not as engaged in it, which is totally fine. For me, I love being hands-on, and I'm lucky enough to have that time to do that. So for me, it works out.
Do you think that this Airbnb concept is a long-term concept? Some people, complain that they don't pay hotel tax, that they're not subject to the same regulations that hotels would be subject to, that they take away rental stock from, regular people that would be renting. Is it a good concept, or is it one that, you think would be better if it got regulated away?
Well, it is somewhat regulated. Like some areas are zoned so that you can run an Airbnb or bread and breakfast. There is business licensing that's involved, and some areas don't allow it because of that reason exactly. So different municipalities, different towns, especially up north, they're all starting to pass that bylaw where it can be regulated so that there is sufficient housing for those reasons exactly. In terms of, is it sustainable down the road? I think it gives, I know for me, I love Airbnb. I mean, I love luxury hotels too, but I find that it gives you a lot more flexibility. You've got a kitchen, go groceries. So it gives you more of that comfort of home, and people like to feel that authenticity when they visit, whether you're visiting abroad or whether you're visiting, Collingwood or Muskoka, they want to feel that. So it is doing very, very well. Airbnb also introduced a tax not too long ago where now, you have to pay your HST, and the customer or the guest is paid the HST as well. So it's come a far way from before because of those regulations.
Do you use the place as well yourself personally?
Oh yeah, I use it as well. Yeah, I block off some time in the summertime and I use it with my family. Yeah.
So it ends up being a reasonable second cottage, second home, second cottage for you too.
Totally. And someone else is paying it. So it's amazing.
Fantastic. Sounds good. So tell me, why give up 22 years in the provincial government and go into real estate?
You know what? It was a great career. I loved my job. I started when I was 20 years old. I know everyone's going to do the math, but yeah, so I did it for a really long time. And I got my license probably 8 years ago now, because I was always an investor myself and, loved doing open houses. And I was so involved in what was happening in the market. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to do it myself. So it was a challenge because my kids were really little when I did it. So on weekends, I was in the library at nights after, my job, and it was a high demanding job, high level management. I just decided, and it could have been a COVID reflection, I don't know, but I thought, you know what, I think I'm at the end, and, it's just when it's time, it's time. And you just put your faith in, in what you do. And I know I do it well, and you just follow your dreams and you just do it. So I had things lined up ahead of time. I mean, I don't just pull the plug on a pensionable, great job. So there is some forethought and some analytics involved. I have a family, I have bills to pay, a lifestyle that I enjoy. So it was all done very thoughtfully, but I just, life is short, right? So do what I love. And it's a different type of service industry that I was doing before.
Now, in the last couple of years, when we had one of the hottest market in Canadian real estate history, it was probably a great job. Is it today? What the volumes are down dramatically, and there's a lot of people involved in real estate in the last couple of years. What's it like today?
I think it's still a good place to be. Like I said, normally people would be like, oh my God, do you regret it? Because now the market's changed so much. And I'm like, no, I don't. You just have to adjust. There's a huge education piece that you have to do right now with clients. There's a lot of sensitivities. There's a lot of strains. And people just are not quite sure what's going on, right? You have mainstream media that says one thing. Our market stats say something else. We still have homes in Toronto that are selling over asking. I just did a purchase yesterday. We're on a conditional offer right now where I got a recreational property for my clients for $100,000 less than what it was listed at. So there is a lot of good deals to be had, and I know deals is like the word we don't say in real estate, but I think it is a very good market. It's a balanced market, and I think just like gas prices, everyone adjusted. People that want to buy and sell, they're going to adjust as well. They're going to not buy the house that's, $2 million. They're going to adjust and, look for a home that's $1 million. So home ownership is still the desired Canadian dream, and people are still looking for that. They've just adjusted.
So let's take a step back. So we all know the story. Interest rates have gone up. What's happened to both volume and pricing in Mississauga?
Well, it's priced a lot of people out of the market, that's for sure. So buyers are struggling at the stress test, and they're being priced out. So longer, higher priced homes at a certain price point, they are sitting a little bit longer. No question about that. And pricing just really needs to be done, thoughtfully, and you really have to analyze what's going on, because the interest rates are 100% affecting the market. We find a lot of people are struggling at closing. They can't close because the banks now are being extra conservative and they're being extra cautious, and they want, X amount more because the appraiser came in lower. So it is a stressful time for sure. And we just have to make sure that we're navigating it, knowledgeably. And, the real estate agents that are in Mississauga are amazing at it, and they're very knowledgeable, and that makes a huge difference.
So I'm told that pricing is down, 10 to 15% in outlying cities like Brantford, Kitchener, Waterloo, et cetera. That hasn't happened yet in Mississauga, but that volume is down something like 47%. And so therefore people are expecting that there will be a price decline once people adjust and the sales actually go through and get recorded. What what's your sense? Are we down at all? Is it going to come down in the future? I get emails on an almost a daily, actually, frankly, almost maybe on an hourly basis, new price, better price, lower price, etc. What is actually happening on the street?
So you're right. The York region and north of that did take more of a hit for sure. And it's, now that everyone's returning back to the office, the commute is no longer attractive. Whereas during COVID, people were at home and they were okay paying a certain price to be up there because you work from home. It's great. But now people are starting to rethink their lives now that everything has opened up and is back to normal. Now we are down in volume. Yes, sales are down, but prices have softened. There's no question about that. But ironically, they're still up from what they were last year. I think the last stats came out, it was like 1% or something like that. So
prices are up from last year.
Prices are up from last year.
Really?
Yes. Yes. Not substantially, but they are.
Even though volumes are down.
Volumes are down, but the prices are still up slightly. They're not like they were 2 years ago. But yes, there is a decline for sure. And, we've got 2 more interest hikes coming. That's going to further soften the market. And of course, everyone's talking about a looming recession. So that's affecting buyers pulling the trigger, which is having homes sit longer. So yes, price reductions, extensions, terminations. We're seeing a lot of that. And it's also in part because sellers are having a hard time resonating with the new market. So they want it priced because they know their neighbor got something back in March. And then when they're not getting it, that's affecting it. So as realtors, we educate our clients onto, well, I don't know how we can list it at that when, this one sold for this amount and this one's for sale. But sellers like, let's just try. I was like,
but
okay.
I had so many of agents say, but Brian, back a year ago, if you're buying at the high and selling at the high, it's like you're trading high to high. So don't worry about it. So isn't it the same thing now at the low, where you're selling low, but you're buying low?
Right now, it's all relative. Yes, it is. Absolutely. It's all relative. You're selling low, you're buying low.
Now, you said that you bought a resort property for $100,000 below ask. Sort of the academic theory is that in a housing collapse, bust, whatever you want to call it, reduction, it is resort properties that go first down, then it's luxury properties, and then it's sort of farther afield properties. Has that happened? What's happened in those different segments? So we talked about the commute, the houses in those towns that people moved to during COVID. That's come down by, most people think, 10 to 15%. What's happened in resort properties?
So recreation is the same thing. I mean, people right now are worried, and it keeps them up at night if they can even continue to afford their own primary residence. So the last thing people are going to do, most people, average people, they're going to go buy a cottage, right? So I suspected back in the summer that if you're looking for a recreational property, cottage property, you're going to start seeing them come on the market in October, November. They're going to close it up and they're going to be like, I don't know if we can carry 2 properties right now. So the recreational property, and when I ran my comparables for my client, that's exactly what I found. They were selling recently for up to 200,000 less than what they listed at. And they were sitting for 40, 50 days.
Okay, so 200,000 less on what? On $1 million or to 2 million, or how big? What percent?
One was 1.6 and it ended up selling for 1.435. And then another one was 1.8 and it ended up selling in the 1.6s. So it seems to be the trend.
15%.
Yeah. So yeah, we're down 15 to 20% depending on the area. That's where we're at.
Really, that's interesting. So if you got cash and you wanted to buy a recreational property, it sounds like either now or in a couple of months is the right time.
I agree. I'm looking for another one. I'm just waiting for the right one.
Another one that you can Airbnb.
Now's the time. You've got a lot of distressed properties that are sitting there and they're sitting for a long time. Sellers, want to unload them, liquefy their assets, because it may go down again before the end of the year or maybe early next year, right? No one knows. You don't have a crystal ball.
No. What about high-end properties? What's happened with high-end? Supposedly people, that need to live, keep their houses, but people that have stretched for the high end end up having problems and down whatever it's called, go into a less expensive home. Have luxury homes kept their value? Have they come down too, or as the academic thing would say, even more?
Well, luxury homes have come down in value just like everything else. But when you're at a certain price point, you don't have that demographic looking. So that $5 million home in Lorne Park is going to sit there for a little bit because not everyone can afford a home that's $5 million. So those are going to sit a little bit longer. And they're like, I mean, they're likely going to get a little bit less than that. We don't have homes down here that are going well over asking unless they're, starting off ridiculously low, which that's not the case. So when you have these high-end pockets in South Mississauga, Mineola, Lorne Park, they're very desirable. And so you have a certain demographic that's looking, and they're high-end neighborhoods, and people want to be in high-end neighborhoods where you have highly claimed schools, so you're by the lake. So those things all have value. So yeah, they do retain their value. They're not.
That's interesting. You think they're retaining their value. They're not being impacted.
Well, they are, but not as much, right? They are not as much because of the area. People will pay to be, close to the city, accessible to highways. But there's price reductions here. Yes, they are selling.
Okay. So I've been told that one of the biggest things right now is time on the market has gone from like less than a month to like more than 3 months. What are you saying?
Yes, that's correct. Houses are not selling in 10 days or 5 days like they used to. But remember, 30 days on the market is not even that bad. But it's bad for everybody because we're used to 1 day and it's gone. So 2 weeks right now, you think it's old, right? So that's what it used to be. Before we were in a hyper busy market. So. Right. But yes, you're right. They're sitting for 35, 40. That's when they're starting to sell. So days on market have increased. Yes.
We're chatting tonight with Carla Corsi, who is a real estate agent in South Mississauga with Remax Enterprises. We're going to take a break for some messages and be back with some concluding comments on the real estate market and the real estate business with Carla. Carla, if people want to contact you, how best to contact you? Do you have a website?
I've got a website. It's carlacorsi.com. I'm also on Instagram, Corsi Properties GTA, Facebook, LinkedIn. Just Google me. I'm pretty much everywhere. And my phone number.
Stay with us, everyone. We'll be back in just 2 minutes with Carla. Welcome back, everyone, to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour on Saga 960. My guest tonight is Carla Corsi, who is a real estate agent in South Mississauga with Remax, and you can get her with, what's the website, carlacorsi.com?
carlacorsi.com. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm everywhere.
Awesome. Carla, we've just been talking about the real estate market and how you gave up 22-year career with the provincial government to join what you said was your passion, and that you not only do this from a business standpoint, but you've created another business in buying properties and doing the Airbnb. But what really grabbed me on your Instagram posting is that you constantly post these inspirational quotes and sayings and things. Why? Does that help your business? What are you trying to do with this, inspirational postings?
I love inspirational posts and sayings, and everything you do, regardless in what business that you're in and what stage in life you are, it always comes down to mindset, right? It's always mind over matter. And we all go through difficult times. We all go through challenging times. And sometimes we get lost in those times. And sometimes I have come across posts on other people's, social media, and it resonates with me. It's you see words, like it captivates and it speaks to you. It's like it's talking to you. And so when I see something that resonates with me, I love to share it because it could be resonating with someone else. It can make the difference in someone else, waking up in the morning and not having that mindset where it should be. And they see something that I've posted and they may feel that same feeling, like it gives them that shift. So I'm always looking for, I'm very big on, what you put out there, you receive. I'm very big on, what you ask for, you'll get, having just faith in your destiny and believing that the universe will deliver. I know people may think it's a little hocus pocus, but, if you want something, you put it out there and you work hard and you'll get it, and I think people feel like some things are so far out of reach. And I'm living proof that it's not. I had small kids. I got my real estate license. I went for my brokers, I got promoted 3 times with the Toronto Police. And I still had a very successful real estate business on the side, bought properties, and I'm still a very active mom with my kids. I'm at home, I cook meals, I clean. I'm like everybody else. I don't have nannies, I don't have anything. So, and I think it's all just having that positive mindset that gets you through the day. And not every day you wake up with that mindset. So I feel like if I put that out there, it may resonate with somebody and help someone get through that day and feel like, hey, we're all in it together, and we all have those types of days where we need that motivation to plow forward.
Well, it resonated with me. And so thank you for those posts, because I found them inspirational. And that's why I reached out to you, because I found that you were a real person trying to help people, not just trying to get another client and do a sale. And so
I'm really so grateful that comes across that way. Thank you.
It does come across that way. And please continue doing it. Everyone, if you're looking for a real estate broker in South Mississauga, carlacorsi.com is where you should go. And if you just want some inspiration, you should follow Carla Corsi on Instagram. Carla Corsi, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Thank you.
So let me end with a couple final comments, if I could. I think the real estate market is under challenge big time today. I think interest rate increases are going to have the intended effect, which is to bring the market down. And I think that's probably called for, because I think that we've had outrageous increases over the course of the last couple of years. But what it does do is it provides an opportunity. I'm not sure if that opportunity is today. That opportunity might be in a couple of months. But it does provide an opportunity. And so I think that for people that do need to buy, now's the time to start potentially looking. And it's almost impossible to, whether it's in the stock market or the currency markets or the commodity markets or the real estate market, pick the low and or know when the high is. But too often we do the opposite of what we're supposed to do. When we buy, we buy when it's high, because the psychologically everyone's buying. And so, oh my God, we should all buy and get in. And we make the mistake, and we all sell when it's low because the market is depressed and people are negative about it, which is what, in business 101 or practical world 101, we all learned you should buy when it's low and you should sell when it's high. So we actually have been doing the opposite of what we should be doing. And the market coming down is the opportunity for us to buy. And sellers, yeah, you're going to get frustrated that you're less than your neighbor sold a couple months ago, but you'll be able to buy, as Carla has said, at potentially a couple $100,000, 10-15%, maybe even more lower than you would have been buying at the time if you had sold a couple months ago. So I think that the market should come down. I think it will come down. I think that the statistics haven't shown it yet, because the houses actually haven't sold. The sellers haven't adjusted. I think this 47% decrease in volume should indicate that that's going to be maybe not the same percentage, but some sort of percentage like that, the reduction in the future. That's basic sort of supply and demand economics. But I think it's appropriate. I think our market was overvalued. And I think it's going to create some incredible buying opportunities. So the selling might be frustrating, but the buying could be spectacular. And that's what markets are all about. Anyway, thanks for joining us. Thank you for both my guests from the real estate industry, giving a sense of the market, and also for a sense of being, real. And one of the lines that I love the most that our first guest told us about was, being successful was finding a family a home, not just selling someone a house. So actually thinking about people as real people and real families and finding them something that they'd be happy and not just trying to get the deal. And so I think that real estate brokers, real estate agents that have that kind of an attitude are the ones that are most successful. And Carla really exhibits that with her posting on a fairly regular basis. So check her out. That's our show for tonight. Thanks for joining us. I remind you, I'm on every Monday through Friday at 6 o'clock on 960 AM. You can stream me online, even from South Mississauga, at www.saga960am.ca. Good night, everybody. Thank you, Carla.
Thank you.